sketch the graphs of the following functions and explain in 2 sentences the type of shift in each graph. So we have these 4 graphs. Let's break them down one by one. Alright, so let's sketch the graph of, this is y is equals to x plus 3 squared. So what I can do here is I can say x plus 3, then x plus 3 again. So this means that y is equals to x times x is x squared, x times 3 is 3x, 3 times x again, that's a 3x, then 3 times 3 is 9. So y is equals to x squared plus 6x plus 9. Alright, so for this graph, I'll give 2 descriptions for this graph. For the first one, we can clearly see that the coefficient of x is positive. So I can say, so description number 1, we can say since a is greater than 0, a is the coefficient of x squared. Since it's greater than 0, then the graph is a minimum. Now, when we say minimum, this is what we mean. I'll show you how a minimum and a maximum looks like. So a minimum graph will look like this, having a minimum point here, and a maximum graph will look like this, having a maximum point here. So because a is greater than 0, here it's a being less than 0. Because we know that a is greater than 0, then we expect a minimum. So our graph will look something like this. So this works mainly only for quadratic equations or quadratic functions. Alright, so now the next thing we're going to do is we need to know where this graph cuts the y-axis, also where this graph cuts the x-axis, or also need to know the vertex of the graph. So we can say to find the vertex, x coordinate will be given by negative b divided by 2a, since it's a quadratic. Now, what is b? B is the coefficient of x, which is 6. What is a? A is the coefficient of x squared, which is 1. So 2 times 1. This gives us negative 6 over 2. Then this gives us negative 3. So the vertex, let me just write it here. So that's another description. Vertex. The x coordinate of the vertex is negative 3. Now let's find the y coordinate of the vertex. To find the y coordinate of the vertex, what we can do is we can simply substitute it in the original. Remember, this is our original here. So I can say y is equals to, where there's x, I'll put a negative 3 plus 3 squared, and this of course will just be 0 squared. So our vertex is negative 3, 0. When x is negative 3, y is 0. This means that our vertex is right here. Now remember, we also need to find the point where this graph cuts both the y-axis and the x-axis. So let's start with the y-axis. Remember, y is equals to x plus 3 squared. Since the vertex is on the x-axis, then we can just say, if x is 0, what is y? So if x is 0, then y will be equals to 0 plus 3 squared. So that is y is equals to 3 squared, which is 9. So it will cut the y-axis at 9, which is here. Alright, so already know that the graph is a minimum. So connecting those points now to look something like this. So let's just make sure. Remember, it's a sketch. So it will pass here and it will cut at 9 like that. And then this side, it will also go in this direction. It's supposed to form something like a curve. Let me try to do it better. So it comes here like that, bounces off there, then it goes something like that. So with the vertex at negative 3, let me just shift it a bit like this. Okay, so our graph will look something like this. Then we can also label it and say, this is the graph of y is equals to x plus 3 squared. So the description, we can give 3 descriptions here. The third one, we can say it shows a horizontal shift. Horizontal shift to the left by 3 units. So physically, this is what is happening. The graph is supposed to be here, but it shifted in the horizontal to the left by 3 units. That's why it's here. So that's what we mean when we say horizontal shift. So if it goes up, down, this represents a vertical shift. But if it goes left, right, this represents a horizontal shift. So there we have it. Sketch the graph of f of x is equals to x squared plus 3. Alright, so to start with, it's important to note that we can do this in parts, such that, first of all, our f of x is y, so we can say y is equals to x squared. Then in the second part, you can say y is equals to x squared, then we can add the 3. So to start with, x squared is simply the graph that is that looks something like this. Since it's a squared, then it's a graph that looks like this. This is the graph y is equals to x squared. But because of this plus 3, what we're saying is that this graph must be elevated upwards by 3 units. So here's how we're going to do it. On our graph here, on our Cartesian plane, I'll start with this graph, which looks like this, and I'll label it. This is the graph y is equals to x squared. Now, since I have to add a 3, this means that the whole graph should be elevated by 3, meaning that it's a it's a vertical shift upwards. So now the graph will pass at 3 here, and it will look something like this, like that. So because of that that elevation, we can say, so since it's cutting at 3, we can say that this is the graph, first of all, of y is equals to x squared, and it has risen by 3. So how do we describe this? We can simply say this is a vertical shift. This is a vertical shift upwards by 3 units. So from the quadratic graph like that, it's just a vertical shift upward by 3 units. So what it means now, generally, if suppose, well, let me just show you something else. Suppose now we're given to say sketch y squared, y is equals to x squared, maybe minus 1. This means that your graph will drop below the x-axis like this, and it will cut at 1 there. So that's what it means. It will cut at -1 because you're dropping it by -1. So there we have it. This is the graph that we're looking for x squared plus 3, with a description to say it's a vertical shift upwards by 3 units. So let's sketch the graph of f of x is equals to the root of x plus 5. So to start with, this can be written as y is equals to the root of x plus 5. So what I need you to get familiar with, first of all, is the fact that the standard graph will look something like this. Now, this graph that I've drawn here, this is the graph of y is equals to root x, like that. So if that's the case, whatever you add or subtract inside the square root will either cause the graph to move to the left or to the right. So I'll draw another graph here and another one here. So if the graph is to move to the left, maybe it passes here like this. This means that the graph is y is equals to the square root of x plus maybe 2. So this means that it is now starting at 2 here, negative. So as long as you have a positive inside, then the graph is shifted to the left. But if you have a negative, it means that the graph will be shifted to the right. So this can be y is equals to the square root of x, maybe minus 3, meaning that it's starting here at 3. So a positive sign inside the square root shifts the graph to the left, while a negative sign shifts the graph to the right. So now it somehow doesn't make sense to say why is that negative is to the right and positive is to the left. So let me explain on that part now. Let's just remove this. Okay, so think of it like this. One property of a square root is that, so before we go any further, let me do this. So on the square root, I'll just put the graph like this. That's not our final graph. I just want to explain something. So a square root, we know that you cannot have a negative number in a square root. Inside the square root, you should only have a positive number or 0. So meaning that the domain of a square root is whatever is inside the square root should be should be greater than or equals to 0. So if that's the case, it means that x is greater than or equals to negative 5, because this 5 goes that side. So now because of this, you can clearly say x is greater or equals to negative 5, meaning that the graph should start at negative 5, then go in this direction, cutting the y-axis at a certain point, and we have to show the certain point where it cuts the y-axis. So the graph starts here at negative 5, then it goes like this, like that. Now let's find the accurate value where it cuts the y-axis. So what has happened here is that this is representing a horizontal shift to the left. So if whatever you're adding to x inside the square root is negative, it will be shifted to the right. But if it's positive, the graph should be shifted to the left. Now another important point is that if for our graph, for our function, this one, if x is 0, what is y? So we'll say y is equals to the square root of x plus 5. So if x is 0, it means that y is equals to the square root of 5. Now the square root of 5 is something like 2.2. So now it means that this graph of ours should cross at 2.2. So 2.2 is somewhere here, like this. So we also have to show it to say at this point the graph is passing at 0, 2.2. So this is the graph of y is equals to the root of x plus 5. Now the description, we can simply say this shows a horizontal shift to the left. It has been shifted to the left by 5 units. So that's it. Alright, so to sketch, f of x is equals to the root of 5x plus 3. The first thing you need to know first of all is that this graph here represents y is equals to root x. So now, since we have a plus there, it means that the graph should be shifted to the left. Why to the left? Because what we have inside the square root is 5x plus 3. So the domain should be greater or equals to 0. So this means that 5x greater or equals to 0. Sorry, this is now greater or equals to negative 3. So x is greater or equals to negative 3 over 5. Okay, so 3 over 5, this is something like 0.67 or 0.6. So if that's the case, it means that our graph should shift to the left by these units, meaning that on our graph 0.6 is somewhere here. So our graph would look something like this, shifted to the left. 0.6 is somewhere here, so to show something like this. Now here's the thing, we have to make sure that it cuts the y-axis at the right point. Let me just extend it. We have to make sure that it cuts the y-axis at the right point. So before we consider that, we have to now consider this value here, the 5. This 5 is a minus, so meaning that this graph must be dropped by 5 units. So since it's at 0, it will be dropped by 5 units and it will come somewhere here. So you can clearly see that we have two shifts. The first shift from the beginning is that it's cutting the x-axis at 0.6, which is here. Then after the 0.6, it now dropped by 5. Now, where does it cut the y-axis? So to find out where it cuts the y-axis, we can simply say, if x is 0, what is y? So y will be equals to the root of 5 times 0 plus 3 minus 5. So y is equals to the root of 3 minus 5. So y is equals to, so root 3 minus 5 gives us negative 3.3. So meaning that our graph should cut somewhere here at negative 3.3. So now what I can do is I can simply raise the graph a bit to show that it cuts the y-axis there. Now let's find out where it cuts the x-axis, if it does. To find out where it cuts the x-axis, I'll just have to say let y be 0. What is x? So this would be the root of 5x plus 3 minus 5. That 5 can go to the other side, it becomes positive, the root of 5x plus 3. I'll square both sides, so this will be squared here and squared here, so this will give us 25 is equals to 5x plus 3. So 25 minus 3 is equals to 5x. So 22 is equals to 5x. So 5, or rather x is equals to 22 over 5. Now 22 over 5 is 4.4. So x is 4.4. So what it means is that this graph of ours should cut x at 4.4. So to look something like this. Now let's describe everything that we have. So step number 1, we saw that there was a horizontal shift. Horizontal shift to the left. Number 2, there was a vertical shift. There was a vertical shift downwards. Then we can just show to say it cuts the x-axis at this point. This is the point 4.4, 0. It cuts the y-axis at this point. We say this is the point 0, 3.3. This 3.3 is negative. So there we have it. We can label our graph now and say this is the graph y is equals to 5x plus 3 minus 5.